greatness. And when I say the divine sense of greatness, when God bestows greatness on an individual, that greatness is not temporal, meaning it is not in the limits of the time. But when God bestows greatness on an individual, that greatness is outside of the bounds of the finite time of the life of that individual. But the greatness of that individual extends beyond his or her time into the times of others, and sometimes for hundreds and thousands of years the name of that individual is honored and remembered because they have attained to true greatness. True greatness is only that which comes with the assistance of God. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, when one aspires to serve God, the Lord of the worlds, and to serve Him alone, and I must add that second part to it, not serving Him with somebody else, but serving Him alone, associating nothing with Him, understanding that He is singular, He is matchless, He is unique and incomparable, and has no associates, has no rivals or no partners, is above need of His creatures and all creation, is independent of all, but upon whom all are made to depend. When one comes into the knowledge of such being and commits oneself to worship that being and that being alone, that one is on the path of true greatness. That one is on the path of conquering not some obstacles, but all obstacles that lie in the pathway of man's becoming one with his Creator. So a Muslim, a righteous person, doesn't do anything without God's assistance, praying for His help, seeking His aid. So the Quran opens, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Why seek His assistance? Because you and I were created in need and weak. Therefore, when something is created in need and weak, coming into the world, knowing nothing and helpless, that individual coming into the world needs assistance. So before you call out for help, help is there. So God gives every new life a mother to assist it in its development. But woe to the child who doesn't grow up from the worship of mother. Though when you're a child you worship your mother, that can be accepted from you. It can be tolerated by the God. But when you grow to an age where you understand that your mother is not the source of whatever she gives, that you must now escape your mother, escape your father, and find the source of it all. For you are not justified in worshiping your mother. You are not justified in worshiping your father. You are not justified in worshiping your prophets or your messengers or your kings or your rulers. You are only justified in worshiping Him who is the source of your very existence. So you are required by the very nature in which you are created to search for Him. And he gives you signs so that you won't get lost along the highway of life. Praise be to Allah. He creates life and he makes it filled with vicissitudes and trials and tribulations. This is all a part of the journey that you may search for him. He's not satisfied to make it easy for you to find him. He wants you to long for him. He wants your soul to cry out for him. And even though mother can satisfy you for a while, father can satisfy you for a while, preacher may satisfy you for a while, mayor and governor and president may satisfy you for a while, prophet and messenger may satisfy you for a while, but God don't want you stopping on the road. For all of these are but signs on the road. You gotta come all the way up to your meeting with him. And I will meet with him. The soul of the human being yearns to meet with its creator, of which the essence of the soul has its repository in the creator and emanated from the creator and longs to return to the creator. Think over these things. So God doesn't allow you in life to get comfortable. He makes it uncomfortable. When you get comfortable, he disturbs your comfort. When you feel you got it under control, he busts up your control. When you think you know, he shakes the foundation of what you think you know, that he may rattle you and shake you so that you will keep on the journey. Keep on the journey to him. So many of us on a journey stop before we reach the goal. Climbing a mountain is not easy. Sometimes you have to stop and get a rest, but don't stay there. Elijah was up in a mountain. Somebody asked him, "What doest thou here? You got work to do." So many of us long for comfort. And when we find a measure of comfort, we want to rest there. But the soul of man is constantly disturbed. Even though you may be high from heroin or cocaine or alcohol, even in your high, he disturbs your soul that the reefer can't satisfy. The heroin can't reach it to comfort it. Your woman can't reach it. The man you love can't reach it to comfort it. Because he don't want you to find total comfort in a man or in a woman. He wants you to find your rest in him. Yeah. So when the trials of life disturb you, when they shake that comfortable position that makes life easier for you, it's only because God is beckoning you to come closer. Come closer. There is no rest in your companionship with each other. Because I have made you, the Creator taught. I have made you imperfect. Because the very root of the universe out of which you were made is not perfect. It is groaning as it moves toward perfection. So since you are made imperfect, I can only compensate for your imperfection by giving you a law that demands your constant attention, your constant obedience. I must help you to fall in love with my law. Because my law, as David says, is a lamp unto my feet. But sometimes I'll allow you to walk in darkness so that you can hunger for the light. And I'll bring the law to you, my servant. And if you will love the law and meditate on the law night and day and understand that I didn't give you law to burden you, but I gave you law to compensate for the imperfection of your nature, so that you might through the law relate perfectly to me, and through the law you might relate perfectly to one another. And in your interpersonal relationships, when you stumble with one another, through the law and repentance and forgiveness and mercy, you can find peace with each other. But your soul cannot find the peace that it seeks in your companionship. Your soul yearns for its creator. So, beloved, the Quran opens the first verse saying, "Praise be to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds." Why must you know where praise belongs? Because if God is going to aid you in an endeavor, He can make you successful. As Brother Khalid said, my father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, said of me that I would reach the pinnacle of success of this world's life. But the rest of that, Brother Khalid, is, and when you get there, brother, I hope you will remember who brought you there. That's the balance. Because you can't get there by yourself. Somebody assists you to become great. And if you become great, young man, remember you got there with help. So the first verse of the Quran teaches the lesson of humility. Because God cannot make a people great who are arrogant, proud, self-conceited. I reflected this morning upon my life. There are moments when every human being must stop and take stock of self. And I looked at black people, and I looked at black people through looking at my life. We are born into a loveless world. Yet our souls need love to feed on, to grow properly with balance. Because the Creator who created us loves His creation. When a child comes into the world and can't find love, it seeks love. We want to be appreciated. We want to feel like we're justified in being where we are because we have a sense of belonging. But when a child grows up not feeling that it is loved, it must follow trying to find love. I grew up like that, not knowing my father. But all the children had fathers. I imagine.
Go ahead and teach, brother minister.
But I had a mother.
Yes, sir.
A mother that I didn't learn to love until I was a much older man, because I couldn't understand the way she demonstrated love. I had a need to be held. I had a need for that kind of love and affection and tenderness that only a loving mother can give to a child that rests in its bosom. My mother never knew love. She had a mother, according to her words to me, that never showed her love. So it is difficult to give what you never had. That's why Farrakhan talks so much of love, because he needed it so bad that when he finally found it, he understood it and knows that it's what human beings need. It is the balm to heal the affliction of black people. You can't heal black people with money. You don't heal black people with jobs. You don't heal black people with an abundance of knowledge. Because those that know and those that work and those that have money and those that have comfort are still sick internally. They're sick and yearning. Diana Ross is famous and beautiful, but her soul is uncomfortable. The refrigerator is big and beautiful, but his soul is not comforted by fame. It's not comforted by fortune. There's something missing in the black man's life. Since the essence of God is love, and the soul of God is the soul of man, it longs to be loved, to be appreciated. Then when a man can't find love, and he finds out that he can sing, she can sing, he can dance, he can play ball, he can fight, he can do these things that will give him appreciation, then he gives up everything. But at the core, all the soul wants is love.